Now, 3D scanners have become an essential tool for anyone that's a maker, creator, a 3D modeler. If you're someone who does automotive repair, if you do rehabbing, or if you do restoration, having a 3D scanner in your arsenal basically means that you can create any part, no matter if no one's making it anymore, if it doesn't exist anymore, or if it's not manufactured anymore. I literally have friends that have scanned the right fender of a car to create the left fender, or bumpers, or create, I would say, a third party accessory by scanning an existing product to be able to do it. I have a friend of mine who is a motorcycle restorer and uses a 3D scanner to create parts that don't exist because these are really old motorcycles. And so, if that's something that interests you, make sure you check out this video because today we're actually going to take a look at a scanner. And this is a scanner that is super cool. This scanner, it is an all-inclusive, self-powered, uh, even processing capable scanner. What I mean by this is that the scanner has a screen on the back, and when you scan items with this, completely wireless, it will not only scan, but it will process the file that was scanned and create the file that becomes the output of what you want to make, either in a 3D printer or send it to a manufacturer. And I'll tell you, 3D printing has gotten super advanced. I have seen 3D printers that can print, not just standard PLA and some of the soft materials that we all know of, but can permit, I can actually print like fiber, can print carbon fiber, can print metal. So there's a lot of capabilities now when you have these models. So this little guy here has a powerful scanner, but then also has a built-in screen to make this PC free. If that's something that interests you, make sure you check out this video. Now, this scanner is capable of scanning small objects, but also large objects. So if you want to scan an entire car, you can do that. If you want to scan something that is small as a little screw, you could do that as well. So you have a wide range of scanning capabilities. And lately, I see a lot of people even scanning people too. So this is something that you could do as well. If you want to scan a person, and I've actually had myself scanned at CES 2025, and I hope to get it done in 2026. You would be able to do this as well with a scanner like this. It actually has a couple light modes. It has an eye safe mode, so that as you're scanning a person, you don't have to worry about any harm that could happen to the person's eye. It also has a high powered mode, which is obviously to be able to get really deep and get more precise. You're talking about 256 gig of memory or storage that's stored on this, and it has a 120-minute runtime. So if you are scanning something, you have a lot of time to get that scan done and to process it as well. The accuracy of this, the resolution is of 0.05. And then also, if you're looking at the accuracy, it's 0.03. So this is pretty precise when it comes to scanning parts. And that means that if you scan something and you try to replace it with a scanned item, your scanned item pretty much is going to fit, or it's going to perform as that original part. So this has a lot of flexibility and power there. It has a 48 megapixel RGB camera. So this not only can it scan the object, but you can do color scans as well. So you can see the entire item represented. And if you want to use this for 3D modeling, this is going to be a great solution for you. It also has a blue laser structured light. It has a class 1 and a class 3R. And remember when we were talking about the different power levels, one that was eye safe and one that wasn't? That's what this stuff relates to. So let me show you what's in the box, what's included. This is available now. And I'll tell you, I've been enjoying this because we do a lot of 3D scanning for part manufacturing, for jig creation, and things like this. And this has come in super handy. Now, the case that the Tuscan scanner comes in is incredibly protective, and it's great as a portable tool for you to bring your scanner with you if you have to scan something on site, or if you just want to protect it and put it away. As I open it up, you'll notice that this is a crush-proof case, so it can't get squished, and it has a lot of accessories. There's a lot of stuff in here. And I didn't need them all because I have a lot of these things already. But we'll first start with, it has several markers, which I have as well. It has these this stand, right? So this is kind of like a little support angle stand. It has this rotating tray where you can actually put something on it as you're scanning, and then just rotate the item so it can get all the sides of the item that's being scanned. You have also a wrist strap. Let's face it, this is actually something that is heavy in your hand. It's not. It's a little bit heavier than a phone. But if you want to make sure you don't drop this thing, which I do, you have also a strap that you can have around your wrist that you can make sure that it doesn't fall off. You also have this calibration board, and we'll bring it over here. You have power. You have a tripod, right? Or yeah, it's a tripod, a little mini tripod, so you can have it in an angle, and then it could be used to scan downward with that little rotating tray. This right here is a extension to this to make it a little bit taller. It also comes with a gel sleeve that's going to give you a lot of protection in case you do bump it, right? But be very careful with the scanner. So as you can see here, there's a lot of stuff that's great to have. Now, the the actual scanner itself is incredibly portable. It is also Wi-Fi based, and it is actually connected to my home network. And I'm going to go ahead and power this up so you can see how this starts up. It does have a fan in it, and the fan is a little bit loud, but it again this has a lot of processing that it has to do. And we've been reviewing scanners from 3D Maker Pro for a very long time. So when I saw this, I reached out to them and says, "Hey, uh, this was a Kickstarter project that evolved beyond Kickstarter." He says, "Once you have a production version of this, I'd love to check it out." And they were very kind to send it our way to check out. And as I mentioned, I use this a lot in some of the production work that we do that Nilda does when it comes to her Etsy store and things like that. And as you can see here, this is Wi-Fi enabled. It has an operating system. They are continually updating the scanner. Here's an update, right? So I'm just going to say view the details of this, and you can see, that what they're doing is optimizing things, resolving maybe some bugs or issues. I'm going to go ahead and hit install, and we'll just let it install. You'll see how quickly. So you notice that it already power, or it's already going through the cycle. It has a nice, I would say, processor in this. I find it to be really snappy. And I say that given the fact that typically when I do scans with a lot of the other scanners I have, it has to go to a PC. Everything is being done on this device. Now, the fan, and you could probably pick this up. I'm going to put this right here. It's operating right now in probably the most highest, I would say, process intensive way because it's doing the firmware update. It's typically not as loud as it is right now because, again, the firmware update is something that's going on. But you also then have the ability to configure inside of the device how the fan performs. So, super capable device. Now, if you're familiar with using a 3D scanner, the operating system is going to really work well for you. If you're new to 3D scanning, there's some language and some things that you'll have to get used to. But overall, you'll see that this experience is a really positive one. If I go into settings, you'll see here that I can actually go through and you'll find standard things, software update, you have Wi-Fi connectivity, you have language, brightness. You do have the ability to adjust the fan, right? So you can reduce the actual fan uh, potency, I would say. But I've left it as it is because I want to make sure that the unit doesn't overheat. Date, time, and then you have your storage. You also then have the ability to look at scans. And I just want to show you one of the scans that I did. I deleted some of the other ones I was doing because they're for clients. But this is a electric or car charger, right? This is a part that I'm actually working on now for a part that we're designing. And I needed to scan the actual charger for an electric vehicle. And this, again, everything that you see right here was done on the device. So I didn't connect this to a PC. I didn't download anything. This is literally the scanner scanning the item, no spray paint, no markers, and just scanning it. And take a look at this. So now, well, you'll notice here at the bottom of the actual charging charger is not there, right? I didn't really need it because the actual part that we're going to be working on is not going to be on the bottom. It's somewhere else on this device. I can't tell you everything about it. But what you have here is, again, a really, really nice scan. And the thing that really got me with this process is that there was nothing that I had to do. There was nothing, meaning in the sense that all I had to do was scan it. I use all the AI features or the automated features in the actual Tuscan scanner to come up with this file that now allows me to work on the part that we're creating. So that to me is significant. That's game changing when it comes to the process because I'm typically would have to have the item connected to a PC or laptop and then work in a specific environment. And with this, I literally was outside in a charging station, um, in the in the again normal light, and I was scanning this to get the actual scan that I need. Uh, Very, very empowering. Now, the controls on the scanner are very simple. You basically have a capture button. You have this control jog that you can use to increase or decrease brightness depending on what's going on in the application. On the bottom, you have a power button, you have USB-C, and then you have a standard mounting screw here that you can use to put this on a tripod. Now let's go ahead and see the scanner in action. I'm going to go ahead and scan a couple things so you can see what I'm talking about. Now we use scanners almost religiously when it comes to our business.
We have a jig business that is used for the laser engraving community as well as the UV printing community. And in those communities, there are a lot of different objects that you need to be able to create jigs, which are like molds. So I need to be able to create negatives of a lot of products. It could be a shot glass like this, where someone is looking for a shot glass jig or mold, or someone that is looking to engrave cufflinks like this, or not cufflinks. Yeah, these are handcuffs. So these are police issued handcuffs that someone is looking to engrave and would like to have a actual template so that they can actually have a mold, and they're going to be engraving probably a couple hundred of these, and they want to make sure that they're all in the same place and the engraving is exactly the same place. So you'll notice that I have it here on the rotary platform that came with the actual engraver, or with the rotary solution that came with the scanner. And I've put some markers on it. And I put the markers on it because it is kind of a reflective surface at times, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't lose the position. So what I'll do is, and notice I put a couple of these too. I use these also at times to do positioning, and I'll just do one of these things, right? This is not a powered platform. I do have a powered one that I use, and these markers are going to help it retain its positioning. So the actual scanner is, again, super portable, and I like that everything is included here. It does have an onboard fan because it does have a CPU. It's actually a processor. This isn't a camera. This is a PC, almost like in your hand. And it is running an operating system that gets upgraded very frequently. Since having this review unit, I've received 3 updates to the software, and each update has been flawless without any kind of error. And I bring that up because sometimes when you get upgrades, you are concerned about the quality of the upgrade and things break. Not here. So here you have all my scans that I've done, and I'm going to go ahead and choose a new scan. It's going to start up, and it gives you all these warnings because of the light. And what I'm going to do is make sure that I've chosen, because you have texture, you have geometry, I'm going to choose that I have markers in place. And the markers are going to help keep track of things, of where I'm at. I'm not going to be doing color scanning, but what I could do is, I'll leave the object there. I'll leave this laser type. It does have different laser settings that you can choose. I'll leave it at this right now. Just change the marker type. Right. So I'm going to hit apply. And this is really, the actual product gives you feedback, and it tells you exactly what to do. So you'll notice right here, this little kind of like lump that you're seeing right here, or this graph that's here, it's basically telling you if you're too far or too close. And I'm going to get a little bit closer over here. If I get too close, you notice how it tells you you're too close, and the actual symbol went to the bottom. I'm going to come back, and as I'm getting right here, it kind of, notice how this got a little bit wider, and it's going to say, hey, I like this spot for doing the scanning. So I'm going to raise it up a little bit, and you'll notice how it likes it even more, right? Let me bring it down a little bit so you can see it on camera. But here right now, it likes it a lot. So this is going to be my scanning angle. Now, I tend to come down a little bit as well because I want to get some of the depth. But as long as it stays, notice as I'm moving up and down, it's not losing anything because of those little markers there. So you see how those markers are just there helping me pinpoint where things are. So I'm going to adjust the camera, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do some scanning so you can see how easy it is to scan. And remember, this can scan not just small items, but it can scan a full car, a bumper. If you're doing any kind of remodeling, or not restoring of a vehicle, you could do it with this. So markers are in place, and I'm going to go ahead, start scanning. And you'll notice that it's telling me that's too far, gives me the feedback. And now that I'm right here in place, I'm going to start to rotate the actual tray. All I'm doing is rotating. And you can see I'm not really doing it slow, right? And I wouldn't say that I'm the smoothest when it comes to rotating the platform, right? And those markers, just putting them either on the object or on the actual bed, makes this so much easier. So notice how it's doing this. So I'm trying to get all the way around, which looks like I did. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a little bit closer to get some of the areas inside the actual handcuffs that I want to get, because I want to be able to get a little bit more. And now I'm going to be moving a little bit more freely, and it will tell me if it loses tracking, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get some of the depth that I make sure I'm not missing here. So pull back, it's giving you feedback so you don't mess it up. right? So it says it lost itself, so I'm going to come back. There it came back now. I'm going to go up a little bit. This is literally the process, guys, of when you're doing scanning. And the more information the scanner has, the better the image is going to be. All right, so I'm going to come back, make sure that it finds itself. And you can see it tells you right there, the green. It not only tells you on the side, but it tells you where the object is, that things look good. Green is good. So if you happen to be colorblind, just watch this graph over here, and you want the graph to be somewhere in the middle, and you want it to be further out. You want it to pop out, just like you saw me do right there. All right, I think we got a lot. Let's go ahead and hit stop. Now, there's a lot here, and when you first look at this, you're probably saying, wow, that doesn't look good. Well, it hasn't been processed yet, so we're going to hit check and say, hey, this is what we want, and we're going to have it processed. And the actual software itself takes what it captured, which was a lot of detail and a lot of information, and it's going to go through and clean it up for us. It's going to take a couple minutes to do it because all the processing is happening on this device. Unlike some of the other scanners where you have to have it on the computer, it is now happening on the device. We're going to let it do its processing, and you can see it's over 40% already. You're going to get everything processed, and then what we're going to do is we'll move it to a PC. All right, so it took a couple minutes, and now it's processed the file. Let's make sure we're in focus here. And now what we're going to do is just hit confirm, right? And it's going to continue, and then it's going to get to the screen that's going to give us the options to work with the mesh. So now this is what it picked up. At first you're looking and says, oh my God, that's a mess. All right, so what we're going to do is come over here and say, this is basically all the functions to cleaning up. So fusion, it has remove any floating parts. We're going to do repair any gaps if there are any. I don't think there are any there. You have simplify the model if you like, mesh denoising, texture mapping. I don't have any texture there. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit apply, and we're going to let it go. So it's going to go ahead and clean things up, and you'll see what it will look like when it's done. All right, so let's see how things turned out. And check this out. This is very usable for me, right? So I have, you see the handcuffs going all the way around. And literally what I just need is to be able to get a negative of these. So this is very, very usable. And I'll just clean this up, get rid of some of the, the actual back that you see right there, and some of the extra points right here. This, what you see right here, this is my finger. As it's capturing my finger as it's going around. But this is very, very usable for me. Now, if you want to get rid of certain areas, all you have to do is use your finger. Right? We're going to go ahead and select certain areas and then just draw around the areas that you want to remove. So for example, I'm going to jump up here. Let me go ahead and do this right here. I'm going to say I want to get rid of that entire area. I'm going to go ahead and bring it a little bit smaller. I'll press, go over, make sure it's covering the area I want. As soon as I release it, it's going to go ahead and select that area. Probably need to do that a little bit more right here. And now it has all that. So once I've selected everything I want to remove, and you notice I'm staying away from the things that I want to keep, all I hit is delete, and it will delete those components. Now, I kind of prefer using the software for this, but I just wanted to show you, that possibility was there.
So guys, that wraps up our review. See you in the next video.